5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, comment on the video about the part that impacted you the most. Suggestions for content that you wanted to hear or know that I may be bringing here to our channel. The paradox of eternal suffering. If life is prolonged indefinitely without the natural release of death, the ankh could also symbolize an eternal torment, an endless cycle of suffering rather than blissful existence. Philosophically, the ankh forces contemplation on the very nature of existence. Is life a gift or a burden? What does it mean to truly live, or to transcend death? Its cyclical nature, like the Ouroboros, reminds us that nothing truly ends, only transforms. This can be a source of comfort or an existential horror, depending on one's perspective on endlessness. The ankh stands as a silent sentinel to these profound questions, a relic of ancient power that continues to provoke thought and inspire fear, a testament to the enduring human fascination with the ultimate mystery, life itself, and what lies beyond its conventional boundaries. Its simple loop and cross contain a universe of meaning, connecting us to the earliest stirrings of human consciousness and the eternal quest for control over our own destiny, even when that destiny leads into the deepest shadows. This extensive exploration delves into the multiple facets of the ankh. Prepare yourself, for the journey into the profound depths of symbolic understanding has truly begun. We delve further into the abyss of meaning, peeling back the layers of understanding that shroud these ancient and powerful symbols. Our previous journey illuminated the multifaceted depths of the ankh. Now, our gaze shifts to an emblem that stands as a stark declaration of defiance, a symbol deliberately inverted to challenge and provoke, the inverted pentagram. To truly grasp the profound implications of the inverted pentagram, one must first understand its upright counterpart. The upright pentagram, a five-pointed star with a single point facing upwards, has been a symbol of immense significance across numerous cultures and mystical traditions for millennia. In Pythagorean philosophy, the pentagram represented perfection and health, embodying the sacred number 5. In Western esotericism, particularly within ceremonial magic, the upright pentagram symbolizes the spirit, the single upward point, governing the 4 classical elements of earth, air, fire, and water, the 4 lower points. It is often seen as a microcosm of humanity, with the head representing spirit and the 4 limbs representing the elements. It is a symbol of balance, protection against evil, and the harmonious integration of the spiritual with the material. Its connection to Venus, the path it traces in the sky over an 8-year cycle, imbued it with associations of beauty, fertility, and divine love in some traditions. The act of inverting a symbol, however, is a potent act of symbolic reversal, a deliberate reorientation that fundamentally alters its meaning and energetic resonance. When the pentagram is inverted, with 2 points facing upwards and 1 pointing downwards, this reorientation signifies a dramatic shift in emphasis. Philosophically and magically, inversion can represent a subversion of established order, a channeling of energies in an opposing direction, or a deliberate focus on aspects previously considered subordinate or suppressed. It's a statement that what was once on top is now below, and vice versa, leading to a new hierarchy of values or forces. Historically, the inverted pentagram's association with malevolence is largely a modern construct, coalescing in the 19th century. While some pre-Christian cultures might have inadvertently used inverted 5-pointed figures without any evil connotation, the specific powerful transgressive meaning attached to it today stems primarily from the influential French occultist Eliphas Lévi. In his seminal 1856 work, Dogme et Rituel de la Haute Magie, Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic, Lévi illustrated the inverted pentagram not as a simple symbol of evil, but as a representation of the goat of Mendes, which he linked to the Baphomet of the Knights Templar. For Lévi, the inverted pentagram with the head of a goat represented the triumph of matter over spirit, the focus on carnal desires and earthly instincts, in direct opposition to the upright pentagram's spiritual dominance. He saw it as the symbol of black magic, or the goat of lust pitted against the lamb of purity. This interpretation, popularized through his extensive writings and illustrations, firmly cemented the inverted pentagram's visual connection to chthonic, primal, and often perceived demonic forces. It was this potent visual and philosophical groundwork laid by Lévi that significantly influenced Anton LaVey and the establishment of the Church of Satan in the 1960s. LaVey explicitly adopted the inverted pentagram, integrating it into the sigil of Baphomet, where the goat's head is inscribed within the inverted star, often with Hebrew letters around it spelling out Leviathan. In LaVeyan Satanism, this symbol is not worshipped as a deity in the traditional sense, but rather serves as a powerful emblem of their core philosophy. Individualism and self-deification. The inverted pentagram symbolizes the assertion of the individual self as the supreme authority, where man is his own God. It represents self-empowerment, self-indulgence, and the rejection of external divine masters. Carnality and earthly existence. It celebrates the natural, often carnal, desires and instincts of humanity, viewing them as healthy and natural rather than sinful or to be suppressed. It champions the physical, material world over an imagined spiritual afterlife. Rebellion against dogma. The inversion itself is a defiant act against the restrictive dogmas and asceticism of Abrahamic religions. It stands for liberation from guilt, shame, and externally imposed morality. Embrace of the adversarial. While not always literally evil, it embraces the role of the adversary, the challenger of convention, the questioner of authority, the one who brings light through rebellion. The two upward points are explicitly seen as the horns of the goat, Baphomet, a powerful and defiant image. Beyond Lavean Satanism, other occult and esoteric traditions may interpret the inverted pentagram in varied, though often challenging ways. Some might view it as representing the descent into the subconscious or the shadow self, a necessary journey into the unacknowledged aspects of one's psyche to achieve wholeness. It can symbolize the grounding of spiritual energy into the material plane, bringing potent magical forces into physical manifestation. In certain left-hand path traditions, it represents a deliberate embrace of chaos, primordial energies, or the exploration of forces that lie beyond conventional dualities of good and evil. It can be seen as an emblem for those who seek to transcend human limitations by drawing power from the lower, often feared, aspects of existence. In ritualistic and magical practices, the inverted pentagram can be utilized for various purposes, particularly in ceremonial magic that aims to evoke chthonic entities or to focus energies on material manifestations. It can be used in banishing rituals to dispel unwanted influences or in summoning rituals to draw forth specific, often primal, forces. Its power lies in its ability to focus intent on the reversal of established norms and the channeling of raw, untamed energy. Culturally, the inverted pentagram has been heavily sensationalized and demonized, especially within popular culture through horror films, heavy metal music, and moral panics. This has both solidified its image as a symbol of pure evil and simultaneously stripped it of its nuanced historical and philosophical depth. For a dark channel, it is crucial to dissect this simplistic portrayal. The inverted pentagram is not merely a sign of malevolence. It is a potent statement of rebellion against oppressive dogma, the assertion of individual will, and the courageous embrace of forbidden knowledge. It symbolizes the audacity to define one's own morality, to explore the often feared depths of human nature, including its primal instincts and desires, rather than suppressing them. It is a declaration of self-ownership and a rejection of external control, making it a powerful emblem for those who seek to carve their own path in the vast, often unsettling landscape of existence. It compels us to question authority, to peer into the shadows, and to consider the power that lies in challenging the very foundations of accepted truth, a beacon for those who dare to stand apart. This exploration reveals the inverted pentagram as a symbol far richer and more complex than its popular, often one-dimensional depiction. Its power lies in its ability to provoke, to question, and to represent a profound philosophical stance against conformity and subservience. Our relentless exploration continues, pulling back the veil on symbols whose very names evoke mystery, power, and often fear. We've navigated the profound depths of the Ankh and dissected the defiant message of the inverted pentagram. Now we turn our gaze upon perhaps the most iconic and deeply misunderstood emblem in the Western esoteric tradition, Baphomet. This name, this image, conjures visions of dark rituals and forbidden knowledge, yet its true essence is far more intricate, a tapestry woven from history, philosophy, and the very concept of duality. The earliest historical mention of Baphomet emerges from the harrowing trials of the Knights Templar in the early 14th century. Accused of heresy, idolatry, and various blasphemies by King Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V, Templar knights were subjected to brutal torture, leading to confessions that they had worshipped an idol or head named Baphomet. The exact nature of this alleged idol remains shrouded in historical ambiguity. Was it a genuine object of veneration, a mistranslation of Muhammad, referencing a perceived link to Islam, a fabricated name extracted under duress, or a code for a secret, esoteric doctrine? Scholars continue to debate whether Baphomet was a real entity in Templar practice, a misunderstanding, or a complete invention by their accusers to justify the order's brutal suppression. Regardless, the name Baphomet became forever etched into the annals of history as a symbol of heresy and secret, forbidden worship. Centuries later, in the 19th century occult revival, the name Baphomet was resurrected and given its most enduring and recognizable visual form by the influential French ceremonial magician and occultist, Eliphas Levi. In his pivotal 1856 work, Dogme et Rituel de la Haute Magie, Doctrine and Ritual of High Magic, Levi illustrated what he termed the Sabbatic goat, or the Baphomet of Mendes. This iconic image, a hermaphroditic, winged, goat-headed figure, is not merely a demonic caricature, but a complex allegorical representation of universal equilibrium and the synthesis of opposites. Levi explicitly stated that his Baphomet was not a devil to be worshipped, but a symbolic diagram of the absolute truth, a potent synthesis of magical forces. Let us meticulously deconstruct the profound symbolism embedded within Levi's Baphomet. The goat's head. This is arguably the most striking feature, lending Baphomet its common epithet, the goat of Mendes, referencing an Egyptian deity associated with fertility and generation. The goat represents virility, earthly instincts, and the raw, untamed creative force of nature. In esoteric thought, it can also link to Pan and other pagan deities, symbolizing the vital, primal aspects of existence often suppressed by Abrahamic religions. The human torso with breasts. This hermaphroditic quality, combining masculine, goat, phallic caduceus, and feminine, breasts, human form, elements, is central to Baphomet's meaning. It symbolizes the perfect union of male and female, of active and passive principles, representing the totality of creation and the balance of dualities within a single entity. It speaks to the androgynous nature of divinity and the complete potential residing within the self. The caduceus staff, between the legs. Rising from the groin, the caduceus, traditionally associated with Hermes/Mercury, signifies balance, healing, and the integration of opposing forces. Its placement here can also imply the awakened Kundalini energy, a spiritual force residing at the base of the spine that, when awakened, rises through the chakras, leading to enlightenment. It represents the potential for spiritual transcendence through the mastery of one's primal energies. The torch/flame on the head. This blazing torch or flame position between the horns symbolizes enlightenment, divine wisdom, spiritual illumination, or gnosis, the secret knowledge that liberates. It represents the light of intellect and conscious awareness, illuminating the path to truth. The pentagram on the forehead. Typically an upright or inverted pentagram, its presence signifies the microcosm of humanity or the elements. Levi often depicted it inverted in conjunction with the goat, implying a focus on the material over the spiritual, or the grounding of spiritual power into the earthly realm. The wings. These feathered wings signify transcendence, the ability to soar above the mundane, and the aspiration towards higher consciousness or spiritual freedom. They represent the soul's capacity to rise above earthly limitations. Arms pointing up and down, salve et coagula, one arm points upwards towards the white crescent moon, symbolizing the waxing moon or spirit, and the other points downwards towards the black crescent moon, symbolizing the waning moon or matter. These gestures, accompanied by the Latin words solve, dissolve, separate, and coagula, coagulate, join together, represent the core alchemical principles of transformation. It signifies the breaking down of elements and their subsequent reintegration into a new, higher form. This is the universal process of destruction leading to creation, a cycle of continuous change and renewal. The black and white moons. These contrasting lunar phases symbolize duality, the ebb and flow of life, and the reflection of divine light. They underscore the balance of opposing forces that Baphomet embodies. The cloven hooves. These connect Baphomet to the earthly realm, to nature spirits, and to ancient pagan deities like Pan and Satyrs, who were often associated with wilderness and primal instincts. They root Baphomet in the physical, chthonic aspects of existence. Levi's profound philosophical interpretation was that Baphomet was not a devil to be worshipped, but a symbol of the absolute, the ultimate equilibrium of opposites. It embodied the synthesis of good and evil, light and darkness, order and chaos, spirit and matter. For Levi, understanding Baphomet meant comprehending the fundamental laws of the universe and gaining true magical power through the harmonious integration of all dualities. It was a representation of the totality of existence, a pantheistic ideal of nature's inherent wisdom. In the 20th century, Anton Lavey and the Church of Satan further adopted and popularized Baphomet, making it the central icon of their philosophy. For Laveyan Satanism, Baphomet represents the carnal man. It symbolizes humanity's natural earthly desires and instincts, unburdened by guilt or sin, a celebration of the self as a sensual being. Individualism and self-deification. Baphomet is not a god, but an archetypal representation of the satanic ideal, the self as the highest authority, self-worship, and the pursuit of personal fulfillment and wisdom. Rejection of hypocrisy. It stands against religious hypocrisy and the suppression of natural human urges. The adversarial nature of Baphomet challenges conventional morality and encourages authenticity. Reason and enlightenment. The torch on its head can symbolize the light of reason and gnosis, a rejection of blind faith in favor of empirical knowledge and self-discovery. Beyond organized Satanism, Baphomet resonates with various other occult and left-hand path traditions. It can represent the union of conscious and unconscious aspects of the psyche, an archetype of raw, untamed power and profound transformation. For some, it embodies the primordial chaos that precedes creation, or the ultimate synthesis necessary for true spiritual liberation. It is a symbol for those who seek to integrate their shadow selves, to understand and wield the forces that lie beyond conventional dualities. The immense controversy surrounding Baphomet stems from its widespread misunderstanding and deliberate demonization by mainstream society. Often simplistically equated with Satan and pure evil, its complex symbolic layers are ignored. For a dark channel, Baphomet offers an unparalleled opportunity to explore the depths of duality, the power of synthesis, and the profound liberation that comes from embracing all aspects of existence, including those deemed dark, forbidden, or unsettling. It challenges the observer to look beyond superficial judgments, to recognize the intricate dance of opposing forces that shape our reality, and to understand the immense power inherent in achieving equilibrium. It stands as a testament to self-mastery, rebellion against false dichotomies, and the courage required to acknowledge the complex, multifaceted nature of both the universe and the self. It is the ultimate symbol for those who seek to understand the very fabric of power, its paradoxical nature, and its potential when all opposing forces are brought into harmonious, albeit unsettling, balance. This profound emblem continues to provoke, to challenge, and to serve as a beacon for those who dare to delve into the very heart of the forbidden and the unknown. Our journey into the profound depths of symbols continues, each layer of understanding revealing new complexities and unsettling truths. We have navigated the life-affirming paradox of the Ankh, dissected the defiant assertion of the inverted pentagram, and unveiled the intricate duality of Baphomet. Now we confront an emblem of ultimate cyclicality, a symbol of eternal return that has transcended countless ages and cultures, the Ouroboros. The Ouroboros, derived from the Greek words aura, tail, and boros, eating, literally translates to tail eater. It is universally depicted as a serpent or dragon devouring its own tail, forming a complete, unbroken circle. This primordial image embodies the concept of perpetual recreation, the cyclical nature of the universe, and the eternal return of existence, where the end invariably becomes the beginning. Its simple yet profound form speaks to an endless cycle of self-consumption and self-renewal, symbolizing infinity, eternity, and the ultimate unity of all things. The roots of the Ouroboros stretch back to the earliest known civilizations. Its most ancient recorded appearance is found in ancient Egyptian funerary texts, notably in the enigmatic Book of the Netherworld, within the tomb of Tutankhamun, dating to the 14th century BCE. Here, two serpents, one biting the other's tail, encircled the unified head and tail of the solar deity, Ra. This depicted the cyclical journey of the sun through the underworld, Duat, each night, dying only to be reborn at dawn, symbolizing the constant renewal of creation and the regenerative power of the cosmos. It was also associated with Nun, the primordial watery abyss from which creation emerged, representing the self-sustaining nature of the primordial forces. The Egyptians saw it as a guardian of the cosmos, maintaining order through its endless cycle. From Egypt, the Ouroboros migrated across the ancient world. In ancient Greece and Rome, it was adopted as a symbol of infinity, eternity, and the universe itself, often associated with Chronos, time, and the philosophical concept of cosmic unity. The Stoics, for instance, used it to represent the cyclical nature of the universe, which would eternally be created and then consumed by fire, only to be reborn. In Norse mythology, the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr, is a colossal beast that encircles the entire world, biting its own tail. Its presence defines the boundaries of the known world, and its release from its own tail signifies the onset of Ragnarok, the cataclysmic destruction and subsequent rebirth of the cosmos. While visually similar motifs appear in various other cultures, from Chinese dragons associated with cosmic cycles to Hindu concepts of time being devoured by itself, the Ouroboros holds particular weight in Western esoteric traditions. It is within the intricate domain of alchemy that the Ouroboros truly found its most profound and multifaceted expression. Here, it is far more than a simple symbol of infinity, it is the emblem of the prima materia, the chaotic, undifferentiated primal substance from which all things emerge and to which they return. The serpent eating itself represents the cyclical process of the magnum opus, the great work, the arduous journey of spiritual and material transformation. The act of self-consumption embodies the alchemical principle of solve et coagula, dissolve and coagulate, the breaking down of elements into their most basic form and their subsequent reintegration into a higher, purified state. It symbolizes purification, death and rebirth within the alchemist's crucible. The Ouroboros signifies that the alchemist must, in essence, consume their own ego, their limitations, and their base instincts to achieve spiritual gold, the perfected, unified self. It is often associated with Mercury, the alchemical symbol for the transformative agent, representing volatility, fluidity, and the perpetual cycle of change necessary for spiritual evolution. In Gnostic and Hermetic traditions, the Ouroboros continued to represent cosmic unity and the self-consuming, self-regenerating nature of the universe. It symbolized the all-encompassing wisdom that binds the cosmos, a unified whole where creation and destruction are two sides of the same eternal coin. It could also represent the demiurge, the creator of the material world, perpetually consuming its own creation in a cosmic dance of life and death, or the underlying chaotic principle that births and devours all forms. For a channel delving into the darker, more unsettling aspects of symbolism, the Ouroboros offers particularly potent insights. Eternal recurrence and existential dread. Beyond a comforting cycle of renewal, the Ouroboros can symbolize the terrifying prospect of eternal recurrence, as conceptualized by philosophers like Nietzsche. This is not simply rebirth, but the horrifying idea that all events, all suffering, all joy, will repeat themselves infinitely without escape or ultimate progress. This evokes a profound sense of cosmic entrapment, a fatalistic and inescapable destiny where history is doomed to repeat itself in an endless, agonizing loop. The boundless and the unknowable abyss, its endless, self-contained form can represent the terrifying, incomprehensible infinity of the cosmos, a universe that is self-devouring and self-creating, where ultimate understanding remains forever out of reach. It speaks to the ultimate unknowable, the abyss of beginning and end collapsing into one. Self-devouring nature of power. In a cynical or dark interpretation, the Ouroboros can represent the inherent self-destructive and self-renewing nature of power itself. Empires rise, consume themselves and fall, only for new ones to emerge from their ashes. It symbolizes a ceaseless struggle, a perpetual cycle of tyranny and rebellion, where no ultimate victory or lasting peace is ever achieved, only endless transformation. The price of immortality. If the Ouroboros signifies eternal life, it can also represent the burden or curse of an existence that never truly ends, without the solace of oblivion or the peace of an ultimate resolution. This aligns with narratives of eternal suffering, cursed undeath, or the existential horror of an unending, monotonous existence. Liminality and profound transformation. The Ouroboros is a powerful symbol of transition, of death as a necessary prerequisite for rebirth, and of the radical transformation that transcends simple life/death binaries. This can be deeply unsettling as it implies constant change, perpetual annihilation of the old self for the birth of the new, and the relentless, consuming nature of evolution. It reminds us that growth often requires the destruction of what was. Integration of the shadow. From a Jungian perspective, the Ouroboros represents the archetype of integration and wholeness. For a dark channel, this implies the imperative to confront and integrate one's shadow self, the repressed, often disturbing aspects of the psyche. The serpent consuming itself can be seen as the ego's terrifying but necessary confrontation with its own darkness, leading to a more complete, albeit potentially unsettling, self. The Ouroboros stands as a profound meditation on the inescapable nature of time, change, and the self-consuming, self-regenerating power of the universe itself. It confronts us with the terrifying beauty of destruction as a precursor to creation, a chilling reminder that darkness and decay are not endpoints but essential active phases in an unending cosmic dance. It is a symbol that forces us to embrace the complete, often brutal, cycle of existence, revealing the wisdom that arises from understanding the ultimate unity found within perpetual transformation. Its eternal bite speaks of a cosmic hunger that devours all, only to give birth anew, an endless mystery. This extensive exploration delves into the multiple facets of the Ouroboros. Prepare yourself, for the journey into the profound depths of symbolic understanding is far from over. Our relentless journey into the hidden depths of symbols continues, each emblem revealing new dimensions of power, paradox, and the often unsettling truths they conceal. We have meticulously explored the cyclical wisdom of the Ouroboros. Now our focus shifts to an icon of vigilance and profound insight, yet one steeped in tales of mutilation and restoration, the Eye of Horus. Also known as the Wedjat or Ujat, eye meaning whole, sound, or healthy, this distinctive stylized human eye with an eyebrow, a falcon-like marking extending from its lower lid, and a spiral ending in a curl, is one of the most enduring and recognizable symbols of ancient Egypt. Its intricate design is not merely aesthetic but is steeped in complex mythological origins and mathematical precision, embodying concepts of protection, healing, and cosmic order. The core of the Eye of Horus's symbolism lies in its dramatic mythological narrative. It represents the left eye of the sky god Horus, son of Osiris and Isis. In the epic struggle for succession and vengeance against his treacherous uncle Seth, who murdered Osiris, Horus's left eye was grievously injured. Accounts vary, suggesting it was gouged out, torn into 6 pieces, or swallowed by Seth. Crucially, it was subsequently restored to wholeness by the god Thoth, the deity of wisdom, magic, and writing, or sometimes by Hathor, the goddess of love and healing. This act of restoration is paramount, imbuing the eye with its primary associations with healing, regeneration, and the restoration of integrity and completeness. It symbolizes the triumph of order over chaos, of health over sickness, and of light over darkness, even when that light has been painfully extinguished and painstakingly rekindled. Beyond its mythological narrative, the Eye of Horus was a multi-layered symbol in ancient Egyptian cosmology. Protection, apotropaic power. Its most common use was as a powerful protective amulet, worn by both the living and the dead. It was believed to ward off evil, deflect curses, and guard against malevolent forces. Its all-seeing nature implies a constant vigilance against unseen threats. Healing and wholeness. Directly stemming from its restoration, it represented physical well-being, rejuvenation, and the return to perfect health after illness or injury. In a spiritual sense, it symbolized the healing of the soul and the restoration of inner balance. Mathematical and cosmic order. Remarkably, each of the 6 distinct parts of the eye was used by ancient Egyptian scribes to denote a specific fraction of a hecate, a unit of volume, typically associated with the measurement of grain or medicine. The sum of these fractions, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, 1/64, equals 63/64. The missing 1/64th th was believed to represent the magical power of Thoth or the inherent imperfection of the material world, requiring divine intervention for true completeness. This mathematical precision highlights its connection to cosmic order, measure, and divine knowledge. Royal power and divine authority. As Horus was the legitimate heir to the throne of Osiris and the patron god of pharaohs, his eye became a symbol of royal power, legitimate rule, and divine protection bestowed upon the living king. Light, perception, and awareness. The Eye of Horus represents light, not just physical light but the light of understanding and awareness. As the sun and moon were considered the eyes of Ra or Horus, it embodied the cosmic cycles of day and night, manifest and hidden knowledge. In funerary practices, the Eye of Horus was indispensable. Placed on sarcophagi, mummy wrappings, and within tombs, it ensured the integrity of the deceased's body, guided them through the perilous journey of the Duat, and guaranteed their resurrection and sustenance in the afterlife. It functioned as a beacon of light in the darkness of the tomb, leading the deceased to their eternal reward. In later esoteric traditions, the Eye of Horus transcended its ancient Egyptian context, evolving into broader symbolic interpretations. The third eye/inner vision. This is perhaps its most significant modern esoteric association. The Eye of Horus is widely seen as an archetype for the third eye, the mystical, non-physical eye of intuition, clairvoyance, and higher consciousness. It represents the ability to perceive beyond the physical senses, to gain spiritual insight, and to access hidden knowledge or unseen dimensions. It is the eye of inner wisdom, enabling one to see truths obscured from ordinary perception. Alchemy. Within alchemical symbolism, the Eye of Horus can represent the attainment of spiritual illumination or the perfected state of the philosopher's stone, bringing ultimate clarity and insight into the transformative processes of both matter and spirit. Secret societies and Gnosticism. While sometimes conflated with the more generalized eye of providence, the all-seeing eye often depicted in a triangle, the eye of Horus's concept of an enlightened, watchful eye resonates with various esoteric orders and secret societies, symbolizing their pursuit of hidden knowledge and inner wisdom. In Gnostic thought, it could represent the spark of divine gnosis, the inner knowing that frees the soul from material illusion and leads to enlightenment. For a channel delving into the darker, more unsettling aspects of symbolism, the Eye of Horus offers a fascinating duality and chilling interpretations. The eye that returned from mutilation. The fact that Horus's eye was violently injured and then supernaturally restored transforms it from a mere protective charm into a powerful symbol of resilience forged through trauma. For a dark channel, this emphasizes rebirth from suffering, the power derived from confronting one's deepest wounds, and the terrifying strength found in surviving mutilation or psychic attack. It's not just about healing but about healing from immense darkness. The unblinking gaze into the abyss. As an all-seeing eye, it can symbolize the unflinching gaze that stares into the abyss, perceiving not just divine light but also the terrifying truths, forbidden knowledge and primal horrors of the unseen realms. This is insight that can be terrifying, isolating, or even maddening, as it unveils what others dare not perceive. It is the eye that sees the monstrous and does not flinch. Surveillance and control by unseen forces. In a more ominous light, the all-seeing eye can evoke themes of pervasive surveillance, hidden oversight, or the unblinking watch of powerful, potentially malevolent, entities or secret cabals. It implies that nothing is truly hidden, and that all actions are observed, perhaps judged, by unseen powers, leading to a sense of inescapable cosmic or esoteric scrutiny. Our profound journey into the very essence of symbolic power pushes onward, each step unveiling a deeper layer of meaning, often unsettling, always revelatory. We have meticulously explored the Ank's embrace of life and death, the inverted pentagram's defiance, Baphomet's cosmic balance, and the Ouroboros's eternal return. Now we confront a symbol of ultimate transgression, one that dares to invert the very name of the divine, the inverted tetragrammaton. To comprehend the sheer audacity and profound implications of the inverted tetragrammaton, one must first grasp the unparalleled sacredness and power of its upright form. The tetragrammaton, represented by the four Hebrew letters Yod He Vav He, YHWH or, constitutes the unpronounceable and most holy name of God in Jewish tradition. Referred to as the ineffable name, it is considered so sacred that it is rarely uttered aloud, often substituted with terms like Adonai, Lord, or Hashem, the name. This reverence stems from its profound significance. YHWH is believed to embody the very essence of existence, the divine breath that animates all creation, signifying the supreme, transcendent and omnipotent nature of the Creator. It encompasses past, present and future, He who was, is and will be, representing the eternal, unchanging divine presence. In the mystical traditions of Kabbalah, the tetragrammaton is the ultimate key to understanding the structure of the universe and the emanation of divine power. Each letter is linked to specific Sephiroth, divine emanations or attributes, on the tree of life, illustrating the pathways through which divine energy flows into creation. It is seen as the very blueprint of existence, containing the fundamental vibrations and principles that uphold reality. Consequently, in ceremonial magic, particularly within systems rooted in Kabbalah, the tetragrammaton is invoked with immense reverence for purposes of divine protection, blessing, spiritual ascent, and the command of angelic forces, always operating under what is considered to be divine authority. It is the name through which the highest power is channeled to manifest order and purpose. The act of inverting such a profoundly sacred and powerful symbol, therefore, carries immense symbolic weight. It is not a casual reversal. It is a deliberate and radical act of spiritual rebellion, blasphemy, or a conscious channeling of cosmic power in an antithetical direction. The inverted tetragrammaton signifies a direct and unequivocal rejection of the traditional divine authority represented by YHWH and the entire religious, moral and cosmic order associated with it. It is a declaration of spiritual insubordination, a tearing away from the established hierarchy of heaven and earth. Within certain esoteric and darker spiritual traditions, particularly those aligned with the left-hand path, the inversion of the tetragrammaton serves several potent purposes. Rejection of external authority and self-deification. This is perhaps the most central theme. By inverting the name of God, practitioners assert their absolute autonomy and sovereignty. It is a declaration that power resides not in an external, transcendent deity, but within the individual self. It embodies the ultimate form of self-deification or apotheosis, where the individual chooses to become their own god, rejecting all masters. This speaks to the immense hubris, or profound self-empowerment, depending on one's perspective. Embrace of the adversarial and chthonic forces. The inversion explicitly aligns the practitioner with forces considered adversarial, demonic, or chthonic, related to the underworld or earth, from a conventional, exoteric viewpoint. It represents a deliberate invocation of energies that are suppressed, feared, or labeled evil by mainstream religions, precisely because these forces are believed to hold raw, untamed power. It can signify an alliance with what the traditional view labels chaos, or anti-cosmic forces. Liberation through transgression. The act of inverting the most sacred name is inherently transgressive. For some, this transgression is not an act of wanton destruction but a key to liberation. By violating spiritual taboos, one breaks the shackles of dogma, societal conditioning, and false morality. This act is believed to unlock forbidden knowledge and access powerful energies that are otherwise inaccessible or controlled by hierarchical structures. It is a path to gnosis achieved through radical defiance. Channeling immanent or anti-cosmic divinity, instead of invoking a transcendent all-good God above, the inverted tetragrammaton might be used to call upon an immanent, earthly, or even anti-cosmic divine principle. This could be a focus on the raw, unrefined essence of existence, the primordial void, or the destructive aspects of creation that are integral to its cycles but are often ignored or demonized. It might be an invocation of what some Kabbalistic traditions refer to as the Qliphoth, the shells, or husks, that represent the inverse or shadow side of the Sephiroth, embodying chaos and imbalance, yet holding their own form of power and knowledge. Chaos and disorder as creative forces. While the upright tetragrammaton symbolizes divine order and cosmic harmony, its inversion can signify a deliberate summoning or embrace of chaos and disorder. For practitioners of chaos magic or those who believe in the creative potential of entropy, this inversion can be a means to disrupt existing realities, dismantle stagnant structures, and allow for new, unpredictable forms of power to emerge. In ritualistic and magical practices, the inverted tetragrammaton is used in contexts far removed from traditional prayer or blessing. It might be employed in rituals involving curses, pacts, the binding of spirits, but from an adversarial stance, or the evocation of entities deemed demonic or infernal. It is a powerful statement of intent to manipulate fundamental cosmic forces, not in alignment with perceived divine will, but often in direct opposition to it, bending reality to one's own will. Culturally, the inverted tetragrammaton is almost universally perceived as a symbol of pure evil, blasphemy, and satanic worship. This public perception, however, often lacks the profound and nuanced, albeit radical, philosophical underpinnings it holds within certain esoteric circles. It is not merely a sign of malice but a powerful tool for extreme spiritual liberation, profound self-empowerment, and the acquisition of arcane power through methods deemed dangerous by the mainstream. Our profound journey into the very essence of symbolic power pushes onward, each step unveiling a deeper layer of meaning, often unsettling, always revelatory. We have meticulously explored the Ank's embrace of life and death, the inverted pentagram's defiance, Baphomet's cosmic balance, and the Ouroboros's eternal return. Now we confront a symbol of ultimate transgression, one that dares to invert the very name of the divine, the inverted tetragrammaton. To comprehend the sheer audacity and profound implications of the inverted tetragrammaton, one must first grasp the unparalleled sacredness and power of its upright form. The tetragrammaton, represented by the 4 Hebrew letters Yod He Vav He, YHWH or, constitutes the unpronounceable and most holy name of God in Jewish tradition. Referred to as the ineffable name, it is considered so sacred that it is rarely uttered aloud, often substituted with terms like Adonai, Lord, or Hashem, the name. This reverence stems from its profound significance. YHWH is believed to embody the very essence of existence, the divine breath that animates all creation, signifying the supreme, transcendent, and omnipotent nature of the Creator. It encompasses past, present, and future, He who was, is, and will be, representing the eternal, unchanging divine presence. In the mystical traditions of Kabbalah, the tetragrammaton is the ultimate key to understanding the structure of the universe and the emanation of divine power. Each letter is linked to specific Sephiroth, divine emanations or attributes, on the tree of life, illustrating the pathways through which divine energy flows into creation. It is seen as the very blueprint of existence, containing the fundamental vibrations and principles that uphold reality. Consequently, in ceremonial magic, particularly within systems rooted in Kabbalah, the Tetragrammaton is invoked with immense reverence for purposes of divine protection, blessing, spiritual ascent, and the command of angelic forces, always operating under what is considered to be divine authority. It is the name through which the highest power is channeled to manifest order and purpose. The act of inverting such a profoundly sacred and powerful symbol, therefore, carries immense symbolic weight. It is not a casual reversal. It is a deliberate and radical act of spiritual rebellion, blasphemy, or a conscious channeling of cosmic power in an antithetical direction. The inverted Tetragrammaton signifies a direct and unequivocal rejection of the traditional divine authority represented by YHWH and the entire religious, moral, and cosmic order associated with it. It is a declaration of spiritual insubordination, a tearing away from the established hierarchy of heaven and earth. Within certain esoteric and darker spiritual traditions, particularly those aligned with the left-hand path, the inversion of the Tetragrammaton serves several potent purposes. Rejection of external authority and self-deification. This is perhaps the most central theme. By inverting the name of God, practitioners assert their absolute autonomy and sovereignty. It is a declaration that power resides not in an external, transcendent deity, but within the individual self. It embodies the ultimate form of self-deification or apotheosis, where the individual chooses to become their own God, rejecting all masters. This speaks to the immense hubris, or profound self-empowerment, depending on one's perspective. Embrace of the adversarial and chthonic forces. The inversion explicitly aligns the practitioner with forces considered adversarial, demonic, or chthonic, related to the underworld or earth, from a conventional, exoteric viewpoint. It represents a deliberate invocation of energies that are suppressed, feared, or labeled evil by mainstream religions, precisely because these forces are believed to hold raw, untamed power. It can signify an alliance with what the traditional view labels chaos, or anti-cosmic forces. Liberation through transgression. The act of inverting the most sacred name is inherently transgressive. For some, this transgression is not an act of wanton destruction but a key to liberation. By violating spiritual taboos, one breaks the shackles of dogma, societal conditioning, and false morality. This act is believed to unlock forbidden knowledge and access powerful energies that are otherwise inaccessible or controlled by hierarchical structures. It is a path to gnosis achieved through radical defiance. Channeling immanent or anti-cosmic divinity, instead of invoking a transcendent all-good God above, the inverted Tetragrammaton might be used to call upon an immanent, earthly, or even anti-cosmic divine principle. This could be a focus on the raw, unrefined essence of existence, the primordial void, or the destructive aspects of creation that are integral to its cycles but are often ignored or demonized. It might be an invocation of what some Kabbalistic traditions refer to as the Qliphoth, the shells, or husks, that represent the inverse or shadow side of the Sephiroth, embodying chaos and imbalance, yet holding their own form of power and knowledge. Chaos and disorder as creative forces. While the upright Tetragrammaton symbolizes divine order and cosmic harmony, its inversion can signify a deliberate summoning or embrace of chaos and disorder. For practitioners of chaos magic or those who believe in the creative potential of entropy, this inversion can be a means to disrupt existing realities, dismantle stagnant structures, and allow for new, unpredictable forms of power to emerge. In ritualistic and magical practices, the inverted Tetragrammaton is used in contexts far removed from traditional prayer or blessing. It might be employed in rituals involving curses, pacts, the binding of spirits, but from an adversarial stance, or the evocation of entities deemed demonic or infernal. It is a powerful statement of intent to manipulate fundamental cosmic forces, not in alignment with perceived divine will, but often in direct opposition to it, bending reality to one's own will. Culturally, the inverted Tetragrammaton is almost universally perceived as a symbol of pure evil, blasphemy, and satanic worship. This public perception, however, often lacks the profound and nuanced, albeit radical, philosophical underpinnings it holds within certain esoteric circles. It is not merely a sign of malice but a powerful tool for extreme spiritual liberation, profound self-empowerment, and the acquisition of arcane power through methods deemed dangerous by the mainstream. A symbol of control and binding. In some darker magical contexts, symbols are inverted not just to defy, but to control or bind. An inverted cross could be used to bind Christian energies, or to nullify their power, allowing for the invocation of other, opposing forces without interference. For a dark channel, the inverted cross is the quintessential symbol of paradox, reinterpretation, and the potent force of transgression. It embodies the chilling fluidity of meaning and the raw power unleashed when sacred boundaries are deliberately crossed. It challenges the viewer to confront inherited beliefs, to question authority, and to understand how an emblem of profound humility can transform into one of radical defiance. It speaks to the allure of rebellion, the rejection of dogmatic control, and the courage required to explore forbidden paths and dangerous truths. It is a stark visual statement that forces contemplation on the nature of authority, conformity, and the liberation found in turning established orders on their head. It appeals powerfully to those who seek power and truth outside conventional religious frameworks, even if that means embracing what is widely perceived as blasphemous or evil. It encapsulates the idea that one's strength and one's path to enlightenment can be found precisely in what the dominant culture deems inverted, weak, or utterly anathema. It is a symbol that forces us to look beyond the surface, into the deep, often uncomfortable contradictions of human belief and power. This extensive exploration delves into the multiple facets of the inverted cross. Prepare yourself, for the journey into the profound depths of symbolic understanding is far from over. Our extended voyage through the esoteric landscape of symbols nears its conclusion, each emblem we've unveiled revealing profound truths, ancient powers, and unsettling depths. We have traversed the intricate meanings of the Ankh, the defiant philosophy of the inverted pentagram, the cosmic equilibrium of Baphomet, the eternal return of the Ouroboros, the piercing insight of the Eye of Horus, and the radical transgression of the inverted tetragrammaton. Now we arrive at our final destination, an icon steeped in legend and imbued with the power of command over the unseen, the Seal of Solomon. The Seal of Solomon is universally recognized as a hexagram, a six-pointed star formed by the interlocking of two equilateral triangles, one pointing upwards and the other downwards. While often visually conflated with the Star of David, Magen David, a prominent symbol in Judaism, the Seal of Solomon possesses a distinct, ancient, and far broader esoteric history. Its name is directly derived from the legendary King Solomon of ancient Israel, renowned throughout biblical and Islamic traditions for his unparalleled wisdom, his ability to understand the language of animals, and most significantly for our purposes, his alleged dominion over spirits, demons, and jinn. The legendary origins of the Seal of Solomon, particularly within the vast body of grimoire traditions and occult literature, are central to its power. Texts such as the Key of Solomon, the Lesser Key of Solomon, also known as the Goetia, and other magical treatises attribute to King Solomon a magical signet ring or a powerful seal. This fabled artifact purportedly granted him immense authority over both celestial and infernal entities. With this seal, Solomon was said to be capable of compelling demons and jinn to perform his will, whether it was to aid in the construction of his magnificent temple, reveal hidden knowledge, locate treasures, or execute various commands that transcended mortal capabilities. The emphasis here is crucial. This was not merely a protective amulet, it was a potent magical tool for command and control over the supernatural, an instrument for binding and directing forces beyond human comprehension. Symbolically, the Seal of Solomon is a powerful representation of universal balance, harmony, and the profound union of opposites. Each interlocking triangle holds distinct meaning. The upward-pointing triangle often symbolizes the masculine principle, spirit, fire, ascension, the heavens, and the macrocosm, the universe. It represents the divine descending into creation. The downward-pointing triangle, conversely, it symbolizes the feminine principle, matter, water, descent, the earth, and the microcosm, the human being. It represents humanity's ascent towards the divine. Their interlocking, the perfect intertwining of these two triangles signifies the harmonious integration of all dualities, heaven and earth, spirit and matter, active and passive, light and shadow, creation and destruction. This embodies the quintessential Hermetic principle, as above, so below, suggesting that the patterns and laws of the universe are perfectly reflected in the individual and vice versa. It represents a state of perfect equilibrium where all opposing forces are brought into synthesis. Beyond this fundamental duality, the Seal of Solomon has permeated various esoteric disciplines. Protection and amuletic use. While its primary magical association is with command, the inherent balance and unity it represents naturally confer protective qualities. It was widely used as an amulet against evil forces, chaos, and spiritual disturbances, creating a sphere of harmonious order. Alchemy. In alchemical symbolism, the hexagram represents the perfect fusion of opposing elements, such as sulfur, upward triangle, masculine, fire, and Mercury, downward triangle, feminine, water, to achieve spiritual and material perfection, leading to the creation of the Philosopher's Stone and the completion of the great work. Kabbalah. While the hexagram is primarily recognized as the Star of David in Judaism, its conceptual links within Kabbalah are profound. Its interwoven triangles can represent the intricate interrelation of the Sephiroth on the Tree of Life, particularly the balance between Chesed, mercy/expansion, and Gevurah, severity/contraction, or the harmonious integration of all divine attributes culminating in Tifereth, beauty/harmony, and Yesod, foundation. For a channel delving into the darker, more unsettling aspects of symbolism, the Seal of Solomon offers a particularly compelling and potent allure, shifting its focus from mere benign protection to formidable arcane power. The power of command and binding. Its most significant appeal lies in its legendary ability to compel and bind demonic and supernatural entities. This is not about seeking divine favor. It's about exerting an unyielding will and control over forces often considered untamable, dangerous, or rebellious. For the sorcerer, it represents a tool of supreme arcane mastery, allowing manipulation of infernal powers for personal gain or specific ends. Access to forbidden knowledge. The capacity to command demons inherently implies access to the vast and often forbidden knowledge these entities possess. Secrets of the universe, hidden treasures, prophecies of future events, or esoteric wisdom normally inaccessible to mortals. This directly connects to themes of forbidden knowledge, its acquisition through dangerous means, and the immense price such power might demand.